Welcome back. This is the 14th segment of Making Sense for 7 Minutes, a summer-long series, Monday through Friday, where we are surveying in bite-sized pieces our historical narrative as told to us in the Bible. And every time asking the immeasurably relevant question, so what? When we examine the first case study in history of a relational breakdown, it involves Adam and Eve. It's recorded in the 3rd chapter of Genesis, verses 8 through 12. And what we discover is that there is a pattern that we can watch down through history. It has been and continues to be repeated in the lives of our family and friends and our own lives. The pattern looks like this. Adam and Eve, having rebelled and been disobedient to God, experienced a breakdown in their relationship with Him, which resulted in a breakdown in their relationship with themselves. Adam with himself, Eve with herself, which then resulted, like falling dominoes, in a breakdown in their relationship with others. Each other. Nothing could be a more clear indication that there has been a breakdown in relationships with others than when we see that God calls out to Adam and he says in a rather confrontational way, "Who told you you were naked? Have you eaten of the fruit that I told you not to eat?" And Adam's response is, "The woman that you gave me, she gave me the fruit and I ate it." Talk about a relational breakdown. Go ahead, husbands. You try this. Stand before God with your wife next to you and say, "Yes, I did it, but it's her fault." And see where you sleep tonight or ever. So, Adam blames Eve. But who does he really blame? He blames God. The woman that you put here, in other words, if you hadn't put her here to begin with, this never would have happened. You and I are the same way. Anytime we get caught doing something wrong, if we can take the responsibility and throw it away from ourselves into somebody else's lap, that's great. If we can take it and throw it so far away from ourselves that it lands back in God's lap, that is so good. God, if you would just give me a job. If you would just give me a different job. If you would just give me a spouse. If you would just give me a different spouse. If you just hadn't made my hormones so healthy. You're in charge. You could change things. How do you expect me to behave when you allow my circumstances to be what they are? Blah, 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 blah. However, coming back to the fact that we experience a breakdown in relationships, and we experience a breakdown in our relationship with others, Here's what we want to understand. The only trustworthy source that there is for you to find out what you're about, who you are, and why you're here is to go to the one who created you. But if you're on the outs, then you're left to listen to all the voices around you who are competing for influence as to who they think you ought to be and what they think you ought to do. Now, one huge reason why this is important. Are you ready for this? Who you understand yourself to be determines how you relate to the people around you. That's worth repeating. Who you understand yourself to be determines how you relate to the people around you. And you see this play out. You've got people who go, I am God's gift to the neighborhood. And you ought to know it. I know it. And you ought to act like that. And then you've got others who go, I'm such a worm. I'm worthless. Go ahead, wait. Let me lie down in the road, and then you go ahead and just run over me. Both of those are horrible. So, what would I want for you? To have a really good self-image? No. To have a really bad self-image? No. To have an accurate self-image. To see yourself as God sees you. I want to see myself as God sees me. Some really crappy stuff, some glorious stuff, but loved by him as demonstrated by the fact that while I was still in rebellion against him, he died for me in Jesus Christ. And the same goes for you. Ha! Surprise! I'm over time. Thanks, y'all.